Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff. We got a lot to go into, a little bit of time to do it. Big shout out to anybody watching the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Who are you guys rooting for? Looks like the score is 21-10 right now as we speak for the Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Today, we are going to talk about Trump, crypto, and XRP. What do you need to know? What are you going to do about it? A lot of things that have been happening over the past couple days, just over the past weekend, yesterday, today, even Friday. Things are always moving. Things are always progressing. A lot of great news coming out of, you're right, you got it, from this administration. A lot of positive things looking up financially from a security perspective and from a crypto perspective. So if you guys ready to kick this thing off, I'm ready. Think we need something pretty strong to get people waking up. Let's go with some hey, hey. All right. Hey, hey. Where's everybody tuning in from? Give a quick shout out to where you guys are tuning in from. And if you guys are looking for some good coffee, go to BadassYetisCafe.com. That's what you guys got to do. I love the coffee. Badass Yetis. Type it in here. YetisCafe.com. You can do that. Also, make sure to tune in. Get ready. You guys know what that word is? What's the word of the day? Word of today is Yeti. So if you guys can type in Yeti, you know the word Yeti, YETI, part of the Badass Yetis. Let me give you a quick look at the guy that we're giving away today. Let me let me share this here real quick. Let's pull it up. We're going to give away an Ash Yeti from the Badass Yetis White Tribe. This is him right here. These guys, they're kind of like the Fire Yetis. Fire Yetis project fire. Ash Yetis can absorb fire, and they do a lot of other cool things. They're in and around. You can see look how dirty his fur is. They're almost like the Fire Yeti kind of a reject. But they're not really a reject. They got their own powers. They're cute. They're cuddly. They're furry. And that's the Badass Yeti. So we're going to be giving that guy away in a little bit. And just like always, make sure you guys have your Zaman wallet ready so you guys can accept it when we send it over to you. And we're going to be transferring that bad boy via the XRPL over at the XRP.cafe, which is pretty cool. And so what are we going to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? What kind of cool things came up over this past weekend that you said, hey, that's kind of cool. That's something that we want to get into. Want to talk about Colombia, maybe? Want to talk about the Bitcoin maxis? Got Oscars talking about watching from the land next to the U.S. in the future. Just maybe, what are you guys like, 4 hours ahead over there in Iceland? It's about a 5-hour plane ride from JFK. Get over to Iceland. Cool place. Very cool place. So look at this. These are kind of cool comments that are going to come through already. So Ted's life is saying, my friend in Russia paid for all her dental work with XRP right at the dental office. They use Z payments. That's really cool. I like that. Wait, it is 5 hours. Wow, 5-hour difference. So you guys are 5 hours ahead over in Iceland. That's what it is. All right. So interesting. You know, the whole concept of streamlining payments. So you go around the world and think about from a business perspective. A lot of people talk about this from a user's perspective. I think, you know, from a consumption perspective, from a consumer perspective, if you can't get a credit card and you want seamless payment and you want to be able to transfer it very quickly, and there's obviously an issue, you know, you go to different parts of the world, banking, access to credit cards, that sort of thing can be complex. For the most part, I would say US market, fairly easy to have credit cards. And as a consumer, I would prefer to use a credit card versus spending crypto. From a business perspective, I would say you're almost better off having some form of a crypto backed credit card solution to streamline the movement of money in hopes of decreasing the payment threshold of utilizing the platform. So you think about these credit card companies are double dipping. So they're double dipping on those that are paying an annual fee to utilize their credit card, and also those that may carry a balance on a credit card and are paying interest on a monthly, kind of per annual basis, calculated on a per annual basis, but they're charging interest and paying interest monthly if they're carrying a balance. Then the business side of things, they're paying anywhere from 2.9 to 3.5, and in some cases almost 4% to use the credit card. Now, that's assuming you have some sort of a credit card processing service. If you use a service, let's say a ticket solution. Let's say you're running some sort of a conference and your platform actually has a built-in solution for processing credit cards. Many times they'll charge you like 99 cents plus the 3.5, and they'll tack on all these extra fees. But those are fees that are then also being paid out to the credit card company, and they're also participating in some sort of a transaction fee. So you could end up paying hundreds of dollars from a business perspective in interest, or in percent, for utilizing um whatever the credit card platform might be. And in some cases, Visa, MasterCard, whereas Amex is more costly for businesses to use. So if we start looking like on a global scale, there for for a long time in many of the European countries, there was resistance in accepting Amex, and now I think it's a lot more uh, favorable. You find a lot more places that take Amex, that take credit cards. And there was a time I remember being in Germany, went to a restaurant, they wouldn't take Visa, wouldn't take Mastercard, obviously not Amex. It was cash or as a regional debit card, and that was it. And that's because of the cost of the transaction from a business perspective. So enter in crypto, utilizing, think about using Zelle even in the US marketplace, and trying to use Zelle from a business perspective is extremely challenging. And trying to find, like, how do you kind of streamline or simplify a transaction, a payment finalization of the transaction, if it's not cash and it's not credit card, and both parties, someone ends up paying that percent. So it's either, in many cases from a business perspective, someone comes to you and they say, hey, the product was $1,000, let's say, and okay, well, I'm gonna have to charge you, if you want to pay your 1,000, I'm gonna charge you 3.5%. If you're going to use a credit card, many people will gladly pay it. Say, hey, you know what? That's great. I'll pay the $35 and call it a day. And it's the cost of doing business. You buy your product, or the company selling is already pre-calculating as far as their price algorithm. They're going to already pre-calculate, well, X number of people pay cash and the majority of people are paying credit card. And here's what our typical cost is in running the processing of credit cards. I find it just so interesting, when we start looking at, where many people are focused on how cryptocurrency is having a major impact, or from a development perspective, what was like some of the primary purpose of crypto. And it was really focused in and emphasizing the payment rail. And that, kind of where people emphasize and focus in on XRP as an example. Well, it was also, or Ripple even, it was all about developing payment solution and movement of money. And for the most part, that's one of the primary key use cases. And they just got to factor in, how exactly is that going to happen? Is that going to then factor in through if someone's getting dental work? Hey, can I use Bitcoin? Can I use XRP? Can I use XLM? Whatever that crypto asset might be to help simplify from both parties. So it's very, very interesting. All right, 18 people so far registered for the drawing for this badass Yeti. So this is the guy that we're giving away today. That is the Ash Yeti. Don't forget, make sure you guys have your Zaman wallet ready when we do this giveaway. And what we're going to do, might even do the giveaway a little bit earlier, which could be kind of cool. So do it like that. You get the little prowler like that one right there. You could have a mentalist from the blue tribe like Matt LaRoche, which is very cool. You get this guy here. I like that guy. That's right off the bag of the Baddest Yetis coffee right there. Lethal is a big fan of the coffee. Mike also right there. Look at that. Right off of there's the Noir Symphony. Badass Yetis coffee. So Adrian's got a little guy over there too, which is very cool. It's nice to see. I love, you click on here and you start seeing all sorts of cool, badass Yetis popping up all over the place. So, all right, let's drill down. Let's drill down into some of the things that have been going on that can be kind of impactful to what is happening on a day-to-day basis. Where is crypto going? That's what we want to know. And actually, there was some real positive statements that just came out from, and let me pull this one up. I actually didn't have this one teed up, but as we're talking, I'm thinking about it. There was some really interesting statements. Let me put this in here. Oops. Let me make sure I type this in right. We're going to pull this one up. I'm going to search up the article. There it is. That was straight out of Forbes. Internet. Yeah, this is it. It was actually 3 days ago. This was David Sachs talking about the executive order. There's a lot of conversation right now over whether or not people are going to be charged capital gains tax or not on crypto. And it really looks more and more like there's going to be some tax incentive, some tax break potentially on what is going to be the development here within the crypto space. Now, I don't know why this was on, this was just a couple days ago. Crypto czar David Sachs celebrate Trump's crypto order. Okay, this was really important, I think. And it's on, I don't like international business. I don't know what this is, but we'll pull the article up on this one. It's okay, even though there's some ads on it. Let's see here. Let's share this guy here. So I don't like all these ads kind of stuck in here. I'm using Chrome because of the simplification of it. But check this out. So this was crypto czar David Sachs celebrate Trump's crypto order, says Trump coin is a collectible. Now, there was a lot of discourse over the Trump coin and all that. Yeah, collectible. You know what else David Sachs is talking about? NFTs. He's talking about NFTs being collectible as well. So really putting a very clear direction and narrative as to where the development from this administration is going to be focused on. Obviously, they are talking also in reference to a strategic national digital asset stockpile. Now, that is really important considering that the past days we've seen Bitcoin maxis come out and talk about, well, it can only be Bitcoin. Can't be XRP, can't be a basket of goods and all of that. And we'll get into that here in a moment. But let me look here because this was like the key statement. So he's saying meme coins and NFTs belong to the collectible category. So then it doesn't fall under the SEC, doesn't fall under the CFTC, falls under the collectible criteria. Now, had we gone back, if we'd go back to, and Chip and I talked about this the other day, if we go back to the Token Taxonomy Act and creating a little bit of clarity, they were adjusting and amending the Securities Exchange Act of 1933, the Securities Act of 1934, or vice versa. But in both of these scenarios, they needed some clarification to add in cryptocurrencies, digital currencies, start understanding where and where not the SEC has jurisdiction, and how can you then interpret what a digital asset is? Provide a little bit of descriptive, uh, a description over. Well, here's the definition. Here's a digital asset. Here is a crypto asset. Here's a cryptocurrency. Put the definition into the act as an amendment to. It provides a direction and path towards full clarification. Now, in this case, David Sachs is talking about NFTs and meme coins are collectibles. When you're talking about digital assets, it can be multiple things. Said, I mean, you've got digital assets that are securities, you've got digital assets that are commodities, you've got digital assets that are collectibles. Now, if you have a digital asset that's a security, it can be very clear. They're selling it specifically as a security. Maybe you're tokenizing a security. Maybe you created the digital asset specifically to be sold and falls within the narrative of what a security is, except instead of selling a stock, they're going to distribute in the form of a digital asset. Now, if it is a security, the power of creating a digitized security is also in the transaction of it, right? So if we can digitize or tokenize real estate, physical hard asset, and then you can sell it and piecemeal components of it for people to invest in, that could be really interesting. If you can take, stock shares and tokenize the stock share and allow for easy transaction of the stock share, basically 24 hours a day, it simplifies the problem. It also cuts out a lot of the cost associated with the movement of these shares. So we could open up finance exponentially if they could find a path to that. And that's where you need true clarification. Is it a security? Is it a commodity? Is it a collectible? Is it an NFT? Can it be sold and packaged up as a security? I'm sure it can be. For the most part, NFTs are collectibles. Meme coins could be deemed collectibles. And so that's kind of where his thought process on that. He talked about the Trump meme coin, which was launched a little over a week ago, like a baseball card or a stamp. People buy it because they want to commemorate something. They want to own a commemorable part of whatever's going on. The distinction can influence how NFTs and meme coins could be viewed, and so on and so on. So, it was really, I liked it. Here's where we know what we suffered through the past 4 years. And I like how Sachs kind of came out going after the Biden administration, driving the crypto industry overseas, which is what we've talked about for the past 4 years, is that, the fundamentals of everything that is associated with building in the crypto space it kind of lacks clarity. There was no regulatory clarity. There was really no path to truly understanding exactly what was or wasn't a security until the court case against Ripple that specifically came out and deemed XRP a non-security sold in the secondary market. And so it was very, important to have that kind of an outcome with the lack of any type of clarity, and that clarity being brought through any type of legislative action, whether it was through the Congress uh, here in the U.S. Or or even at the state level, because you saw there's some activities in states like Wyoming and Texas and elsewhere where they were putting together a path towards their own internal state-based normalcy of crypto. Obviously, we need it at the national, federal level, but it was basically it's been slow walked, way way too much. So and that's interesting too. Chad is talking about how BlackRock, a lot of the big institutions, getting into and actually buying crypto. Hmm. Interesting that we look at, and let me pull it up. Let's pull it up from a narrative perspective. Let's look at CoinGecko. XRP currently sitting at 299. Just went through like a 5 or 6% drop. Was just hovering earlier like 319. Drop off. Oh, what's today? Sunday. Are people selling off in preparation for the morning? Is something else happening? Not 100% sure, but who just said it? So XRP here is saying it's not really tanking. He used to buy 5 for 1, and it was 20 cents, right? You think about that. You don't even have to go back that far to where you could get two, you were paying 50 cents, 50 cents pre election, November 5th, right? XRP was hovering in the 50-cent range, talking about a couple months ago. Now it's sitting at $3. So tanking would be XRP right now plummeting to a level of like $1.99. Then I would say, hey, you know what? We just lost, a big momentum in XRP. That would be completely tanking. A little bit of sell off, 5% fluctuation. Bitcoin was hovering at 104, 105 is at 101. So the whole market is turning red. It's not like it's just XRP. Everyone looks at their one asset and kind of like puts a magnifying glass on it, said, hey, what the heck is going on with that one crypto asset where the markets kind of shift as a whole. Yeah. So, Oscar's saying the exact same thing, right? It's really, really, really interesting. So Jim D, I don't know. Everybody's here. Everyone's with us, Jim. Don't know if auto start didn't auto start. We're here. We're rolling. We're talking. We're doing our thing. But if we look at the market as a whole, the roller coaster that we're on, I feel like, Legendary saying, yeah, XRP veterans are numb to these tiny dips. I feel it's like we've been on 2017 to 2018 was the biggest roller coaster ride I think I'd ever experienced in crypto up until that point. We're at such a high, sitting at these highs like this, right? 340, 350, 360. It was short lived. Bitcoin was only 20,000 at the time. That's why if you look at this in a comparative analysis, Bitcoin at 100,000, XRP is still not even at 2017, 2018 highs, so you put that into perspective. But that roller coaster ride when we went over the cliff, and then ever since, right? You think about the roller coaster, regardless of the asset, a lot of this tracks Bitcoin, right? But if you think about the overall narrative, how many times have we hit peaks? That was a steep peak right there. That was my lesson. What date was that? January 5th? No. Yeah. January 5th of 2018, because we came over the other side of the cliff. That was the lesson. Did we learn? I don't know. We came down here from 2018 until 2021, 3 years basically, right? 3 years sitting in this basin here, just nothing, right? But look at the ups and downs. It's like a kiddie roller coaster, right? Still ups and downs. If we zoom in, Still have some moments here, right? September, if you go here, right? We're in August of 18, down around 32 cents. Up here, back to 57 cents. That's a pretty big jump, but there was nothing like this. Look at this. Look at this peak. And it can't even get it to the top of the peak, but you can see where the ball is. It's kind of hovering like January 5th. It's already on its way down. It didn't stop. There was no comeback. It wasn't like, oh, we're coming down and we're coming back. This was the big one though, right? 2020. We rode through 2021, which is pretty interesting because you think about the announcement of the lawsuit, but it still rode. It was riding pretty high. And then where do we just start dropping, right? And it just look at that. Look at that right there. These lows, and then a roller coaster. Bitcoin starts tracking up to 100,000 post-election. This is where we are. October 26th, sitting at 51 cents. 51. And then look at this. It spikes up, right? And we can't forget about where are we up here? I can't even get to that crest right there because then it did plummet. We had that drop here. This drop, maybe a little less significant than that drop to whatever that number is there. I can't open it up specifically on this map or this graph, but let's see. Let's see if we can get it there. There we go. 208. See if we can get to the height. I don't think I can get it all up here on this one. Let's see. No, not going to happen. I don't know. It's probably like 250, 260 back down to 208. Then, so this is the roller coaster. This is it right there, right? I mean, this is cryptocurrency in a max view. Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's see if Bitcoin, whoops, hang on. Let's see if Bitcoin has any interesting dynamics to it. If there's any TNA people out there, maybe you guys can explain what we're looking at. Not even looking at any charts, just looking at where to try to correlate some of the ups and downs of that 2017, 2018 spike. Here's what's crazy. Look at this little spike to $20,000 over here. In comparison to where we are now with Bitcoin. Look at this little tiny blip. This was the talk of the land because up until that point, Bitcoin had never seen 20,000, but we also saw it drop back down into 3,000 range at one point. Let me see. What was it like? Yeah, there we go. It was like 3,500. We're close in that 3,000 range in this little, it was like a year later, 2019. That's crazy, right? And people at 4,000 should have taken every bit of whatever you had and said, hey, I'm going to ride this thing for a long time. Look at that. 50s, 60s. Look at this drop off here, right? We're in that 60,000 range. Back down to, what is that? 20 something? 60? We just experienced this, right? 22, not that long ago. We touched the 60,000 in 21. We experienced 60,000. Came all the way back down. Look at these numbers. 15,000. 15 from 60. Right? Everyone knowing the direction that Bitcoin's going to go. We could look at XRP the same way. That just amazes me, the direction. But a lot of this parallel right now, this skyrocket, is all as a direct result of November. Even though it's been increasing though, right? We've seen steady increases, but if you look kind of October, people are getting more confident. They're feeling, okay, we can hit our all-time high again from 21. If we looked politically to see what was happening from a confidence perspective, what kind of discourse and conversations were being had at this time, there was a lot of excitement kind of moving in the right direction, so to speak, and then this, and then this. And it doesn't stop, I mean, this is, I find it fascinating. I really find that fascinating. So, I don't know. That's me. Look at this. There's a bunch of liquidity to be scooped around 100,000. Yeah. It amazes me if we're actually able to look at volume, liquidity. Not sure what this number is down here. Why doesn't it say exactly what this is? What is this? I know I'm going to shrink that up. That's the same. I wish they would show volume. That would be nice. We can compare different assets here if we wanted, but I like looking. Well, if we look overall, last 24 hours, look at the parallels. 3%, 3.9. XRP is 4.5, 8% on Solana, 4% BNB. Some of these USDC makes no move, obviously. Doge is down 5. Then it's in, Lido, Tron up. Look at some of the green, some of these other little coins. It's amazing. This is the 7 day. So let's look at the 24-hour. Let's go down. I'm looking for Sui. Sui's down a bunch. That was up over $5. This was up almost around 50 cents. Stellar. And then we're at XRP. At 298. Still up for the 7 day movement right there. 1.5%. I like looking at, overall, where are we at? The volume. This is it. Look at the volume. 3.9 billion. That's volume of asset bought and sold right there. 15, 25. That's 24-hour volume. That's a lot of money moving through crypto, which is really cool. Man. I'm not trying to do any technical analysis with this whatsoever. I'm just looking at just basic, just the basic movement, percentage movement, sentiment, political perspective of it. There's no way I would try to do any kind of technical analysis. First, I wouldn't do it to begin with. And second, there's no way I would use CoinGecko to try to do any kind of technical analysis. I use it just strictly, purely looking at price movement. That's it. Percentages, 24-hour, 1 hour, changes in the price point, and that's it. Nothing else. Zero technical analysis. I applied no technical analysis over there. So let's look. Let's see where we at. Buffalo Bills 16. Is that accurate? 16-21. That's pretty good. Going into third quarter, 10 minutes. Man, look at that. Is that 10? Yep. Look at that. Q3. Okay. We'll see where that goes. We will see what happens with that. All right. Let's move on with that. I don't know how I kind of got sidetracked into just looking at price movement on the graph. Somebody said something over there and I just started looking at numbers. I would like to here we go. This is a good take on it too, because I'm actually getting ready to get into some things, but this is a good take, Chris. Market is tanking because the government is gearing up to buy, but needs to do so at a discount. Many crypto whales are government agencies, and they're selling to introduce panic and purchase at a discount. That definitely could be a part of it, but there's a lot of positivity, with everything that's going on. So don't forget to enter for your Yeti drawings, which could be great. Ryan, I believe we go to 97, test the 200-day average, and then eventually test it. There's a lot to it. I mean, it would be really interesting. I would love, I would love to have a real technical analysis, a technical analyst, someone that we'll pull up some good graphs and we'll look at the different moving averages and the 200-day and whatever numbers you want to use. There's all sorts of great. I love watching how people can figure and navigate stuff like that. That'd be a lot of fun. Looking at, all sorts of cool things. So, But I like looking at that and then trying to apply from a political perspective, as we just saw that comment over here from Chris. Think that's interesting. And we're going to get into some more detail. So let me pull this up. I actually had it pulled up, and where is it? And apparently it's not pulled up. So let me open this link up here. All these great articles, and so what happens. We just start talking and kind of get sidelined. Let's see if this. Oh, I did have it up, and I actually it was right here. I put the two tabs side by side, the same tab. Let me get rid of this one, pull that one up. What I was trying to open was the original comment that went along with it. I'm trying to find where the original comment. Oh man, I'm glad this is here. This is really important. But okay, let's share. Let's go to one. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So this was from Garlinghouse. I love this. Low weekend. Anything exciting happening? Crypto Eddie. I like David with his trying to talk about who's Gary. I like that. Good commentary. Some interesting things happening. A lot of Bitcoin maxis out there, talking and saying things. That's definitely for sure. Let's get into this one. Okay, so this was. And did you guys see that article? One of the co-founder of Ledger was recently kidnapped, put in a trunk, had one of his fingers cut off. They kidnapped him and his wife, and they just found them a couple days ago, and they were holding them for ransom, and they cut his finger off. Somehow the kidnappers got away. They're looking for them. They found the wife bound up in another car. Kind of crazy stuff. So what is this? Emmy. So this is commentary here. Interesting to see Satoshi's comments on Ripple Pay, conceptualized by our who's that? Ryan Fugger, software developer. Look at that, originator of the credit network, part of Ripple. This was later infused. So let's see what this is. Let's look at this image. My email correspondence with Satoshi from 2009 to 2011. So let's see if these open up first and foremost. Are you familiar with Ripple? As trust goes, Ripple is unique in spreading trust around rather than concentrating. I've been asked at least 4 times, have you heard of Ripple? Let's see what this other one is. Ripple is interesting in that it's the only other system that does something with trust besides concentrate it into a central server, Satoshi. That's interesting. I mean, that's really, really cool. Let's see, what is this? Bank XRP. If I remember correctly, ME, this video was unlisted for quite a while. I did save it some time ago. Okay. See if anybody commented on anything important. I like, it was great. There were some of the Satoshi final emails, and I know Chip and I looked for them again, but the final email was basically, there's still work to be done. That was the last email from Satoshi, and never heard again. It has launched a war on Bitcoin maxis. The Bitcoin maxis have been coming out crazy though over the past couple of days. Absolutely like lunacy how they came after him. So did they find the finger? I don't know if they did. What is this? Oh, only needed one finger to get the backdoor info they needed from the Ledger guy. Yeah, I don't know. The article kind of just ended with they got them. He was kind of mutilated. I'm like, what does that mean? He was mutilated. They said he was okay. He was mutilated. They cut his finger off. They didn't cut all of his fingers off. Then they just left him. Really crazy. Really, really crazy. So let me see where we're at on the giveaway. 27 entries. We need 3 more entries on the Yeti for the giveaway. So if you guys you haven't done so already, type in Yeti so you have a chance to win this bad boy right here, which is an ash yeti from the Badass Yetis white tribe. Look at that cute, cuddly guy right there. Very cool. So we'll be doing that here momentarily. We'll do that drawing, which will be very cool. Here you go, RKB. The Lord blesses XRP as the shepherd for the only the true believers of the Lord. What is all these commentaries here? If Satoshi is really, look at Chad's got a yuck there, like the yuck. Satoshi is really anonymous. The U.S. can't trust to add it to a strategic reserve. Ergo, the U.S. government knows who or they might be or they are. There's a high probability chance of that. Then look at that, Matt. You're missing this bad boy. Well, hopefully you typed in Yeti and we're about to, you'll be winning one of those, which would be kind of cool. Okay, we're going into, oh, what did Matt say over here with this 84? There are arguments that can be made Bitcoin to 84, but who knows? It could. If the market's going to pull back that far, again, don't want to look at it, but just purely speculative based on, the just FOMO. If the market's pulling back, then it's maybe a comfort zone, maybe the stock market as a whole. Maybe we're seeing a price increase go on right now. We might end up feeling a little bit of pain from a price perspective before we start feeling the positive, right? I don't know if you guys bought eggs recently. My wife went to Whole Foods early this morning. No eggs, like nothing. Costco, if you go into Costco in the cold section, they have a pack of organic free range eggs, 24, literally like 2 weeks ago, $7.29. Now the same pack of 24 is $9.99. Like the price of everything, eggs, everything's going up, has been steadily going up. There's potentially going to be a little bit of pain before things start getting better, but there's so much, positivity in the market as a whole with development here, especially as we start opening up our oil, not the oil reserves. But right now we're filling, and Trump wants to refill the oil reserves, which is going to be really, really critical. Still 1621 touchdown Bills. So if they got a touchdown, this hasn't updated yet. If we're sitting 16, then so are we talking? What's the score? Anyone who's watching, throw up a score. I don't know. I just refreshed this. Oh, there we go. I got it. 22-21. So Chip is fired up right now. 22-21. There we go. Nice. Oh, I wasn't sharing this. I should have pulled that up too. But I'm glad that you guys are pulling that up or watching. That's awesome. Very cool. Love, this is good. We can just read through. We can just, man, the Bills might be going to the Super Bowls. Look at that. Should have been the Lions. Should have been Detroit Lions. They were playing amazing this past year and didn't pull it off. But Mr. Q, Bitcoin Maxi selling Bitcoin today for XRP. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the point. Sean, what is going on, Sean? Good to see you over here. Glad you're tuning in all the way from Australia. Jeff, is there a chance the 50 billion XRP escrow gets given to the U.S.? So that's a great question. Now, the only way that's going to happen, and right now, you could actually have that entire escrow just burned. All right. The validators could vote to say escrow gone, deplete the escrow. Validators would also have to then vote on the movement of, right. It's not 50 billion anymore, whatever the number is in escrow. It's not 50 billion anymore, but whatever that number that is in escrow, could that be moved on? There could be a lot of different arguments on exactly how that would play out. I don't see it. It'd be interesting to see if that would happen. Maybe instead of it just being moved over, what we do know is that Ripple has been selling from the escrow. And so imagine US government comes a knocking, they want to fill up the reserve. What are they going to put in the strategic reserve? You can't put all Bitcoin. It's got to be a basket of a basket of assets. So if they're going to fill the basket of assets, leverage one against the other or amongst themselves, then let's take XRP. They're going to have to bring in Ethereum. They're going to have to bring in Bitcoin. They're going to have to look at maybe those within the top 10 and have a basket of crypto asset currency within the strategic reserve. That would be a smart way to do it. And so that's kind of how I would visualize it. Would they go to the open market to buy? I don't think the US government would go to the open market. I think they would go to a Ripple and say, hey, you're sitting on this stockpile. Here's what we're going to do. So that could be interesting. A vote an act of Congress to force them to give it up. That's what it would probably take if they were actually going to force them to give it up. That'd be different though. And there's interesting too, right? Will bits of the escrow be sold to buy treasuries to back RLUSD? And that's interesting as well, because they're going to have to, if they're going to have that, if they're holding RLUSD, has to be backed by US dollars. So you guys, the good points here. If we're rocking the escrow, a bond deed or other dark document kept in the custody of a third party and taking effect only when it's specified. Right. Well, that's the other part, right? That's now the escrow that's being held every month. They're pulling out. What's the number they pull out? It's 100 million XRP gets pulled out every month, and then whatever is unused gets put back in. Is it 100 million? I think that's what the number is. It was when it was 50 cents, it wasn't as much. I don't know. I can't remember what the number is. Whatever it is, and then it gets replaced back into the escrow, whatever is unused. So you can't even release unless the validator somehow, if there's a way to cancel the escrow, but the escrow is set up. 1 billion. It is 1 billion, right? Not 100 million. 1 billion gets taken out and then it gets recirculated back in. So that's crazy. You think about 1 billion XRP per month gets taken out. Think about what that is now. That's a huge amount of money. So before, at 20 cents or 50 cents, you're talking about, a much smaller number. It's amazing. Now we're talking about what, over $3 billion. That's impressive. 3 billion per month. What can you do with that? I mean, they could take all 3 billion and say, hey, we're moving this on to the federal government, or for the federal government strategic reserve. And right there, this is what they normally put. They use a little bit, put like 700, 800, 900 back in. Exactly. So, all right, man, we just been talking about stuff and kind of going on. What else do we have here that I wanted to pull up? Let's see here. Bitcoin. Oh, here we go. Is this the Bitcoin Maxi? Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. This is just in reference to this a couple days ago. So I've been at a conference for 2 days, running a conference. So my head has not been in crypto for 2 solid days. And now I'm trying to get my brain and everything back into crypto. 2 days. I'll tell you what, if you're like preoccupied, like completely occupied for a couple of days, you come back and it's like all of a sudden again, it's like a whole different world. Like all sorts of stuff is happening. You're like, oh my God, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I can't even remember any of my stuff. Bitcoin maxings today are the complete opposite of Bitcoiners on inception. What the? As someone who was a huge Bitcoin bull in 11, I'll tell you right now, none of the modern day Bitcoin maximalists have the same core values. In fact, it's a complete opposite. It's true. The whole purpose of Bitcoin was to get away from banks. Now all they're talking about is packing their treasuries. We used to believe in decentralization, freedom, transparency. Nowadays, they're begging banks to bail them out. They want to censor critics, constantly lie, spreading fake news, promoting centralized scams like Tether and Lightning Network. Man, that's a solid point. That's interesting. Make Bitcoin great again. That's crazy. And he's not wrong, And I'm not going to bash Bitcoin. Without Bitcoin, there'd be nothing else, right? If it wasn't for Bitcoin, this market wouldn't have progressed, wouldn't have moved, wouldn't be where we're at. Bitcoin is significant. Bitcoin brings identification and recognition. What we don't need are the Bitcoin maxis shouting out to everybody that they're the only ones, they're the only right ones, and everybody else is wrong. That is exactly what we don't need. And yet they keep, just moving on, and they keep pontificating over nonsense. Bill Morgan, in fact, came out. I love this comment, this post from Bill Morgan. Dear Bitcoin maxis, XRP has survived the following events over the last decade to be placed today as the world's number 3 crypto in market capitalization. 1, tested by the market for over a decade. 2, tested by the courts and found itself to be a virtual currency and not a security. 3, competitively tested by the arbitrary actions of the SEC in giving a regulatory free pass advantage to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which it survived. 4, it's a community battle tested by 10 years of the same rubbish and FUD you've been spewing for the last 48 hours, and a lawsuit in which they were effectively a party. Your last deluge of attacks are mere flea bites. The XRP army responds only for sport. Do better, losers. Now, that goes out to the XRP or the Bitcoin maxis. The same time, we can't be XRP maxis. Let's look at the market as a whole, right? I think that's where that all falls. That's kind of where that all lies. I think that's really interesting. I like that post. I do like that post. Now, in other news, you guys probably heard there was a little bit of a dust up over in Colombia. You guys might have heard about that. Little bit of a dust up. It's so hilarious because these countries, these countries are just so shoot, why is this playing? Hang on a second. One of these things is playing a video with audio in the background. I don't want a video and I don't want audio. All I want is this article. My fault for pulling it up on this channel. So let's just pull it up. Here we go. Colombian leader quickly caves after Trump threats, offers presidential plane for deportation. So what had happened, there was a plane repatriating criminal illegals from this country, bringing them back to their country, sending them down to Colombia. What happened is the Colombian government said, nope, we are not going to allow the planes to land. Trump came in and said, no, well, that isn't going to be possible. Here's what's going to happen as a result. And it was amazing because it was basically like, all right, starting now, there's going to be 25% tariffs. Next week, it'll be 50% tariffs. We're going to revoke any type of diplomatic immunity. You're not going to be able to have visas. There was just like one thing after another going after allies of Colombia and the government and the family. It was just the action was unbelievable. Just a smackdown. The Colombian government responds with this essay going after Trump and this country and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, an hour after all this stuff unfolds, all of a sudden, not only is the president of Colombia uh, basically eating their words, eating his words, but they're also sending the presidential plane to come and bring more of them down. And that's exactly what's going to keep happening here, because we've got a lot of stuff getting ready to unfold here. This guy caves. Of course he caved. The guy's 100% on the wrong. Take your criminal entities, your criminal illegal aliens, bring them back. They're not welcome here anymore. And this was it. It was just hammered him. And he said, this is the start and this is just the beginning. It was a whole list of things that he was saying. It was so amazing. It was just so amazing. It was so quick. It was perfect. I mean, it was just like instantaneous gratification. That's what we're talking about. Instant gratification. The other good thing is that Trump is talking about getting rid of 85,000 IRS agents. Trump is he floats gutting the IRS, moving agents to the border because, and it's great. How about just no tax? Trump asked the cheering Las Vegas crowd. The one thing Trump is putting in place is the External Revenue Service. The External Revenue Service is meant to collect tariffs externally, meaning from other countries, and making sure that they are being held accountable to all of that. So things are shifting in a direction that I don't think, many are prepared that Trump said this is what's going to happen, and it's happening. We're like a week in, and they're just hitting the ground so fast. And it was amazing too, because Pete Hegseth was nominated and voted in, and JD Vance had to be the deciding vote. It was 50-50. McConnell went to the other side and voted against him. Like we actually need some of these rhino Republicans that don't belong in Washington anymore. They need to move the Senate someplace else. The whole Senate and both the House and the Senate need to be in different states. They shouldn't be in DC. Need to just clean DC. It's just that there's so much corruptive interplay and stuff like that. But it was someone was reporting. They said that it's the tying vote. Pete Hegseth's kids were there watching as he got nominated in. And I guess after he won 51-50, because JD Vance was the deciding vote, he came over to his kids, and his son ran up to him, and he said, and the son said to Pete Hegseth, he goes, "Dad, that was awesome." He goes, "You got to win in overtime." And it was just the overall perspective of it, which is just so fantastic. It really is fantastic. Lisa Murkowski, another one that has to go. Sometimes Siri writes my words wrongs, changes them. It's not just Siri, it's crazy, the stuff that goes on. Tariffs. Yes. Time to place more tariffs. You got to believe it. Got to believe it. He was joking about saying, yeah, was it a joke though? Think it was a joke to send them down there? That it would be interesting. Also, it's not no tax. It's only if the terrorists work so well, they might make it zero tax, no income tax. There should be no income tax, right? That we can, yeah, wasn't, I see tariffs. I get it. That's where your correction was, Falco. Yeah, tariffs will be perfect. And then you have the External Revenue Service. We need no income tax. Get rid of the IRS overall. We don't, it's just the way the whole thing works. And that's what he's talking about. Really makes a big impact. Put so much money back into the economy. People have so much more money to spend and save and do whatever they got to do. And that's what has to happen. People are probably selling because we're talking. maybe that's what it is. We're the ones talking about it. Like DC needs an enema. All right. Well, here we go. Let's let this thing roll. 32 signed up on the for the drawing. Where is let's share this screen So we got 32. We're going to do the drawing right now. So let's get ready. Let's have some fun. Let's hit this draw button. Who's going to win the Badass Yeti? Get your Zaman wallets ready, because as soon as you win, make sure you say, "Hey, I'm here. I won. I'm here. I'm here." And then we need your Zaman wallet address, and we're going to, boom, transfer the Yeti over to you. So here we go. Ready? You guys ready? Going to hit this draw button. Got to get it fired up. Let me get some water first. Here we go. Here we go. Man, Visual Vendetta at the last second. Got it in. Look, 132 to 33. Good luck all. Here we go. Hit the draw. It is Falco. Look at that. Look at that winner. All right. Look at that win. Falco, you still here? We saw your comments. Are you still here? You are the winner. Falco is the winner. Look at that. Let me type that in. I don't know if people, sometimes we're a little bit chats a little. Oh, there you go. Boom. Look at that. Falco wins an Ash Yeti. That's pretty kick ass. That is pretty kick ass. So where is he? There he is right there. All right. Let me open up my regular YouTube, so that way when you send over your Zaman wallet address, I can grab it. I can paste it in. Let me get that going. SpaceX sends rocket to the moon. That's happening. Is that live right now? NASA live, SpaceX live launches 2 moon landing missions. It says it's live. There's 1,900 people. There's a rocket sitting there ready to launch in 1 minute. Look at that. That's pretty interesting. Let me get past that commercial. Hang on a minute. That's what happens. Look at that. What are these guys watching this on? This thing's launching in like five minutes, or 1 minute, 40 seconds. Look at that. Let's go to see if I can find the SpaceX launch live. There it is, from the Starbase. Look at that. Is this live? 8 Starbase live. I don't see a rocket there. I see nothing. I see Starbase, and I say no rocket. I wonder if it already launched. I wonder if that was an old 8:09 p.m. Central Time. Seeing nothing launching. Okay. Anyhow, I'm doing that. I'm trying to get over to our regular channel so I can grab your Zaman wallet. Then we're going to move that over to you. Let me, if you haven't done so, hit that. You can hit the thumbs up button. You can hit the subscribe button. You can hit the bell notification button. Do all those cool things. And it helps the algorithms within the channel. All right. I just got all right. Let's see. Come on. Where is top chat, live chat? Let me see. Yeti, if not. Okay, I'm looking. Falco, did you put in your did you throw it in? You threw in your wallet address, your Zaman wallet address? I don't see it here. Oh, JMJ said it was launched the other day. Yeah, I did not see that. Jim D is over there. I guess it didn't launch from that area. Oh man. All right. Well, we'll talk here for a minute or two. Man, that was crazy. I was trying to get onto regular YouTube, and then I saw they had the launch, but obviously someone was replaying the launch. So this is it right here. That's the bad boy, the badass Ash Yeti. So check this out. If you guys haven't done so already, I'm going to go to couple things for you to check out, right? You want to go to this. Let's go to onthechain.io. You guys say, hey, I don't remember when these guys stream, or I missed a stream. I want to go back and watch the stream. I want to go and listen to it. I want to see some of the recent shows. You can go to onthechain.io, be like, I wonder, let me see. Wonder when I can listen to their last one. Look at this. This was from yesterday. Chip did an outstanding job. He was kind of all by himself yesterday. So he's over there. He was running the show. You can say, hey, you know what? I want to go back and watch the show that Chip did. I want to see some of the articles that went into preparation for the show, right? You can kind of go in here, what type of videos, what kind of expos, all that cool stuff. I want to listen to it. Go here, you can listen to it. You can go over here, watch it, do all those great things, which is awesome. And if you said, hey, so if you want to support us and just, you can do that. You can subscribe. You can just subscribe just with an email address. The only thing we do at the end of every show is send an email with all these links, which is pretty sweet. And then if you want to find out about Badass Yetis Coffee, you go to badassyetiscoffee.com. Check out some featured products. The Obsidian Bold or the Noir Symphony. I like both of them. I like dark roasted. Want to find out how you can get nice discounts on all these coffees? Well, you can get discounts on the coffees. If you have a Badass Yeti, you can actually go over to our Discord and you can verify the Yeti on the Discord and you'll get a discount over on, and there's links. They open up over on the Discord, give you links to the Badass Yeti coffee. Yeah, we put it all together. Try to simplify all that cool stuff. Then if you said, hey, I wonder about these Badass Yetis, right? Here's some Badass Yetis. See, let's look at all the White Tribe. Badass Yeti White Tribe. There they are. There's a whole bunch of them that have been minted. Some are listed for selling. Some people have put offers on some of them, like this cute guy right here. Let's see what this one is. You open it up. You can look at all their statistics and everything. For some reason, the rarity isn't publishing on this, even though there is a rarity. There's stats for it. There's one of the ass kickers right there. So the ass kickers are kind of cool. And then then you can go look at these guys. That's a Fire Yeti right there. Look at that Fire Yeti. Fire Yeti, similar to the Ash Yeti, which is kind of cool. There it is. Falco. Sweet. All right, let me go grab it over here in the stream. You know what's weird? I see it there and I don't see it on YouTube. Just says my address is, and then it doesn't pop up. Let me see if I can change Hop Chat. There it is. I see it now. Sweet. Let me grab it. Okay. I am grabbing give me 1 second. I got your, all right. I'm going to transfer this over. Just have to track it on the sheet too. I'm going to do it simultaneously. We got here. So we've got Falco. Oops. Falco. Oh, what happened to my keyboard? There we go. Daz. Okay. What number is that? 398. Today is the 26th. All right. Now it's recorded. It took me longer to do that than this is going to take. I'm going to put this bad boy in here. Oh, actually, you're not watching. So let me just show you that we're getting ready to share this bad boy. So there it is right there. I'm about to hit the transfer. So what happens when I hit the transfer, get a nice QR code is about to pop up. So let's hit transfer. How come it's not working? Okay, maybe I don't have the full thing. Let me look. Make sure I got the whole thing. Make sure that that's your full address. For some reason, what happened here? For some reason, it's not allowing me to transfer. Let me refresh. Just double check, make sure that your whole the whole address was copied, because it's not letting me transfer. I click transfer, I pasted the address, and it's saying it's not letting me do it. Just double check that it starts with a small r, capital D, and ends with lowercase WQ. Falco. You can double. Oh, and you have to make sure that oh, that's a different address. Okay. Hang on a minute. So, Falco, make sure your trust line is set as well. Let me go back in here. Let me grab it. Hang on a second. Let's go over here, top of the chat. There it is. Got it now. I have got it. Okay, now I'm going to put it over here. What am I watching over here? Okay, anyhow. Hit transfer. All right, there we go. We're set to go. So now I'm going to open up the Zaman. Here we go. Let's get the transfer going. Boom. Scanned. And now I slide to accept. Accept. And it's verifying. Over there, it's been sent already. Transfer has been submitted. It's verifying. Gone. That's it. You own it. That bad boy is now yours. That badass Yeti. Make sure you accept it. You can accept it through. Believe you can accept it through the Zaman wallet, or you can accept it through the XR. If you connect to the XRP.cafe app, you accept it over there, and then it's good. No, it's gone, Falco. It's gone. I sent it to you. It's good to go. It's on its way. It has left. The address that you sent me here is the address that I just sent it to. So it's all good. It is gone. So brought to you. Yeah, brought to you by Zaman. That'd be great, but it isn't. We're not sponsored in any way, shape, or form by Zaman or by XRP.cafe, other than we have some cool ass, badass NFTs that are over there. So anyhow, that's all I got. You guys are awesome. We covered a bunch of different cool things. So with that, I know we spent some time going through the transfer of these badass Yetis over to the winner today, which is Falco Daz, which is awesome. So it's perfect. Perfect. That's all I got. We'll be back here Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more fun. Until then, let's check the score real quick. Buffalo Bills. Uh-oh. The nail biter. Look at that. It's in the fourth quarter. 10 minutes left. 22-29. Anything's possible. Let's go watch the game. Check you guys Wednesday night. I am out of here. Hang on a second. It's always hard to find this thing. I'm out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.